The United States' national parks cover 401 parks and total over 84 million acres of land. With areas of wilderness this vast, it makes sense that accidents will happen and people will go missing or even be found dead. However, when you look into the circumstances surrounding many of these disappearances, they're so utterly bizarre that they take on their own classification and become known as the missing 411 cases. For a little bit of information, the term missing 411 comes from a series of books by author David Paulides. 411 is slang for information, and Paulides believes that in all these cases there is information that the public is missing. Paulides spent 20 years in law enforcement before he started a series of nonfiction books entitled Missing 411, of which there are 8, about missing people in North America's national parks, after he realized just how strange the circumstances that would go missing and be found under are. Since the park's creation in 1916, over 1,600 people have gone missing in the national parks. I'm sure many of you are thinking, okay, the national parks are giant forests that hundreds of millions of people visit every year. Some people are bound to get lost. But when you look into the circumstances surrounding many of these cases, things get interesting, to say the very least. There are some disappearances where what happened is pretty clear. Wildlife attack, falling from a great height, suicide, foul play, etc. The cases Paulides researches are the ones where there is seemingly no explanation. Parents looking away from their children for literal seconds, only for them to disappear in between. If they are found, it's often miles and miles away, in areas so inaccessible that even an experienced hiker or climber would find them challenging to reach. Even curiouser, they seem to be none the worse for wear, and have no recollection of what happened to them while they were missing. The adults that go missing seem to be equally odd, skilled outdoorsmen and women vanishing into thin air. Interestingly, a statistically significant number of those who disappear in the woods are either on the extremely low end of the intelligence spectrum, suffering from some form of mental handicap, or the extremely high end, them being accomplished doctors and scientists. The search for these people ends up being equally mystifying. Bloodhounds standing perfectly still, unable, or possibly unwilling, to pursue any scent. The missing person, or in some more tragic cases, their body, being found near boulders or berry patches disproportionately often, and mysterious, drastic changes in the weather at the exact same time as the disappearances. The victims pretty much always leave no trail, their whereabouts being discovered by nothing more than sheer luck. There are a lot, and I do mean a lot, of theories flying around as to what is causing these disappearances. Anything from alien abduction, a government conspiracy, interdimensional travel, a group of wealthy, hyper-intelligent serial killers. No one really knows. Interestingly enough, it's been observed that the map of all the disappearances lines up nearly perfectly with a map of the major cave systems of the United States. I've made a video about this, which I'll link to in the description. Now, Paulides hasn't stated who or what he believes is responsible for all these missing people, but he wrote 2 books outside of his Missing 411 series, both about the Sasquatch, and even created and serves as the director of the research group known as the North American Bigfoot Search. Popular culture has given Bigfoot the image of being a friendly, hairy, gentle giant, but anyone who's read about enough encounters or even had one themselves will tell you this is not the case. Furthermore, if it isn't Bigfoot, North America has no shortage of creatures that can make anyone disappear, or just make them dinner. In my opinion, what seems most sinister about this whole thing is just how much the government seems to be stymieing anyone attempting to seriously research the topic. When Polides contacted the head of the Freedom of Information Department for the Western U.S. and asked for a list of people missing in Yosemite, they said they didn't keep any list. Polides asked how much it would cost to put one together. They said it would cost $34,000 for a list of people missing from Yosemite because they'd have to pay staff to put one together. Polides, a published author, asked for the list using his author's exemption, which would waive the fee. He got a call back from a National Park Service attorney who said his best-selling books weren't in enough libraries to grant the exemption. Polides asked how much it would cost for all the national parks in the U.S. The attorney said that would cost a whopping $1.4 million for one list. So, you still want to book that hiking trip for spring break? Or is Cancun looking more and more attractive by the minute? Have you had any experiences that seem to match what I've described in this video? Let me know in the comment section below.